What up, YouTube? Well, I know I've been bombing the heck out of you guys with videos since I got the big snowball here, but I tell you, I haven't had anybody vote on the name of this thing yet. So drop a comment down there and tell me what I should vote. Keep it, keep it at least R, PG-13. Anyway, so I want to cut out one more video. And guys, I apologize for last time cutting down the 13 and why, I listened to my video again, started out with why this bike's better than the 13. And guys, I don't mean to come off like that. I had a lot of good years on my 13 and just trying to help a few people out. This video is just right at you folks who have a 13 and absolutely love it, okay? Because I had my 13. I loved it, except for the transmission problem. So that's what I want to talk to you real quick about. Just three things on why I think you should upgrade to the 16 as fast as you possibly can. Might be four things, if I can remember all four of them. But I guess number one thing we should start out, if you just absolutely don't like the 18 through the 20s, that's a pretty good reason to upgrade to the 16 if you got a 13. Because you want to go that last year that they made these things. If you got some miles on that 13, trade up and get something, with lower miles on it. Plus, if you're like me, you practiced on that 13. If you never had a really concentrated on shifting and things I've talked about in my other video, or you put stuff on the bike and you liked how you put it on or you didn't like how you put it on, good reason to upgrade into this. If you just I do not like the 18s through 20s. Sorry, guys. I just don't like them. Okay, I don't think they look as good. There's too many problems with it. They don't integrate well with what I'm looking for. So I'm not an Apple guy. Sue me. So Apple CarPlay doesn't do anything for me. And other than that, wah. But hey, I said that stuff and kind of cried sour grapes on some of the stuff I'm going to go over tonight when I was talking about my 13 to the 16. So you never know, okay? People change their minds. But anyway, that's a pretty good reason right there. Second reason is I keep thinking about that transmission, guys, on that 13 and what that one person out there in the forum told me. The 14s they were supposed to upgrade, or the 15s, I can't remember, that they upgrade and just tweaked it a little bit, just like they're tweaking that 18 to 19 to 20, fixing a couple things maybe that didn't integrate right or whatever on the new ones. They did the same thing with this, okay? This is the last year that you could get one of these, okay? So all the problems hopefully have been fixed. We know the brake recall is done, so they automatically upgraded all those GL 1800s and all the F6Bs that they recalled for the brakes. Well, they fixed them in the 16, so there's no recall. That's good and bad. I thought I was going to get me another free brake bleed and change and flush on this one, but they stopped it. They fixed it, so no brake recall needed. That transmission I keep thinking about on that, if they really did reinforce some shift forks, brake shift, whatever, if they made them stronger, then might be a good reason to think about getting into this, especially if you're getting into that 30, 40, 60, 100,000 and you didn't know how to shift a Goldwing like I did. Might want to look into this, okay? The next thing is, and I always just laughed about this, having those. One thing that you cannot get if you don't have a Deluxe is those auto-cancel turn signals. I didn't talk about this in my last video, but it's really kind of important. Now, I haven't had too many situations, but I happened to be not on this motorcycle. I was on my Vulcan 900, had my daughter on the back of it, didn't have self-canceling turn signals. I left my turn signals on. I was approaching a country road, back road. Might have heard me mention it before. And this woman thought she was clearing the lane for me. She's kind of pulled out. I was going straight. She was coming into my lane from the left, and I had my left turn signal on. So she thought she was going to get and clear the lane for me to be able to. She wasn't doing anything wrong. I had my turn signal on, except she shouldn't have pulled out in front of me, but she did. Locked up the brakes. I'm skidding the back tire with my daughter on the back. I think she was probably 6 at the time. So it wasn't a real fun trip. That's not having self-canceling turn signals. Now it can go the other way too. If you think you got a turn signal on, it turns on off automatically because you barely went left or right or whatever. You could have some trouble there. But I think the majority of the time you're going to suffer if you leave that turn signal on and you don't notice it. Now, this is great that the turn signal's up there. It kind of stays in front of your face a little bit more. So, but self-canceling turn signals, man, I got to tell you, I've been liking them. You know, just to click them on, I kind of watch what they're doing when they turn off. Even when you just change lanes on the highway, they turn off automatically. They're just really nicely integrated on this bike, and they do a good job. So, self-canceling turn signals, reason number 2 to go into the F6B 16 and trade in your 13. Guys, you might have saw some forums on this next thing. And this is a pretty big deal. I noticed it a tad once in a while. I might see something come off on a towel after I'm waxing, but you see that a lot. But it's the paint, guys. On these, you got that that matte paint finish, and man, is it smooth. Can you tell the difference? I mean, it's just so much smoother to the touch, a different kind of feeling, really rock solid. Something that's not going to smudge or I heard the yellow really had a bad time back in 13 or 14. I think they were out in 14 too, the yellow. Well, I love that color. Don't get me wrong. I love that yellow on black. Very smoking. All the colors look good. But this and that gunmetal, I call it gunmetal gray, that the 16, I think the 15 had it too. God, maybe even the 14, you could get that flat matte on the paint on the F6B. So I think that paint is just going to hold up a lot longer and stay looking good. I've wiped this bike down once. I can't even tell it when it's dirty, if it's dirty. Okay, white, that's just general. Notice all the, we kind of like white in this family, all right? But it really just holds up, hides the look at that right there. Got some of my coffee spilled off there. But anyway, that white just holds up, and just the paint in general. So if you got a yellow one, you've noticed that, hey, might be another reason to step into the 16 F6B and trade that puppy in. So yeah, just those couple things, guys. That would trigger me if I were standing in your shoes with a 13. Of course, I love this these new exhaust pipes on here. So many times I wanted to dip the ones that I have, but if you dipped them, you were still going to have this left over. Blah blah blah. It's just so much of a pain. Those stock pipes just sound so much better. But I've talked about that in another video. Those are a couple new things here. I hope I just mentioned for the first time. And then again, who knows what else? If there's anything else besides the brakes and the transmission, those are two damn big things. But what else did they fix from the year they first came out, from the 13 to the 16? I don't know. If you know, drop it in the comment to help some folks out. But just a couple things. That's it for me now, YouTube. I think I'm going to look at that Voodoo Ranger. Woohoo! That's a pretty stout IPA too. But going to put on the D-Trios. You saw my video on these, man. They're a little bit different. These have like 4 split offs, and the other ones just had 2. So it's going to be a little bit different of an install. But hey, man, I like lights. You know what I mean? Rainbow, a lot of different color. Call me, whatever. I love lights, and I'm going to install those here shortly, and probably I'm going to have to shove out at least a picture or a video on those too. So if you haven't saw how to install those on your F6B, probably work pretty good for a GL 1800. Probably need to do a little bit more work because, I just took my seat off. That's all you really got to get to drop all those lights in there. But that's another video. Guys, again, don't mean to cut down your 13 F6B. If you love them like I do, all I'm saying is really consider trading up and getting this final year. If you're like me and this is your forever motorcycle, that's it. Later, YouTube.